Good morning, world. Good morning. Good morning. Grab your warm tea, warm coffee, warm toast, donut, whatever it is you're going to have this morning. And get in here and tune in to another insightful topic here with the You Will Make It TV YouTube channel where we share inspirational quotes, divine messages, and insightful topics weekly. Now, don't worry. I know y'all haven't heard me back here in a while, or the topics have seemed a little bit more spaced out, but that's just because we are currently building our channel into several other platforms. On top of that, I have several other projects I've just been working on in between. But every time I move to just give a reaction and commentary to certain debatable topics, I just can't help myself. I come here, I push the live button, and I go in, okay? If you're new to our channel, welcome 1,000 times. This is a hub where you can not just listen in and tune in, but also a safe space where you can share your own personal thoughts, opinions, and commentary to real, raw topics and stories from across the globe, okay? Um, I want to say that if you haven't already, subscribe please so that you do receive notifications when we go live. And I want to do something deeper, especially for the year of 2026. I don't want to focus so much more just on people's personal lives when it comes to my topics, and this is why I said it. You just have so many people who kind of leave commentary and reaction on that kind of content already. I want to just more speak from my heart about other topics, because even with this one, this guy on the thumbnail, Mr. Chris, I forgot what his last name was there, but rest in peace to him and all other victims who have unfortunately lost their lives due to science, or how do I say it, in the name of science? Because it's one thing to die of natural causes. Let me just say this: it's 1,000,001 ways to die. But I just think it's crazy when your death cause is just for somebody's science experiment or for somebody to have a science trophy. Not saying that's what might have went on with Mr. Chris's story, the man right here on the picture on the thumbnail, but I ended up coming across a few more stories similar to this one, and I didn't know that it was so many mothers coming up. Well, they say, in the pattern is always to say the same. The mothers say that first, you know what I'm saying? It just end up with the process of them reporting these sons missing, right? And then, I mean, because missing is scary in itself, even when you have grown children. Now, you see how it's crazy? I feel like I'm a good candidate for this topic, not because I have grown children, but I do know what it's like to be a mother. And this, just hearing these stories made me want to tap in and give more reaction and commentary too. Why don't we talk about that more? A mother's intuition is very real, apparently. I mean, it's fairy tale as people want that to be. If people go to mile and distance to study science about everything else and the sciences of everything else, well, why haven't we looked deeper into a mother's intuition? Now, it's not that everybody doesn't carry, in my opinion, some form of intuition, but it has to be something about this they mention for generations. You know how long they've reverenced to the two words, a mother's intuition? It has to be something about it. Well, this is why I bring it up. In all of these stories that they son came up missing like that, because some of them they come up missing, and that's tragic too. When they do find them, it's whole organs missing. So that's why I said, I'm going to say this again. Rest in peace to all the fallen victims. I mean, because why wouldn't you think that it's just weird. To me, they're victims of science. When you find their bodies, no matter what race they are, let's scratch that for a minute and just think human. Think with human logic and think about what it means to be human again. How is that not pertaining to science when a person is found with their organs missing? Every time that happens, every single time, We hear a story about it. People always talking about when we go into a new year, what we should leave in the past, what we should leave in 2025 when 2026 comes, for example. That's definitely one of them. We need to leave ignoring these stories in the past, because what are we ignoring them for? Just because they get views and people follow the stories on the internet doesn't mean people are doing anything about it. Like, it's crazy to me. Now, how many stories in 2025 alone people came up? We know people coming up missing is not new, but then they find them and there's no organs, bro. Like, this is not okay. No matter what race you are, because I know people be like, well, it happens to black people. Apparently, just like this picture I'm showing on the thumbnail, it can happen to anybody. You don't have to be black. Oh, that's what's bad about this with the men, with the it just seemed like both of these young men were athletes. You feel me? I mean, a lot of these victims who died in the name of science, why did they have to be athletes? Notice they were people with strong build, muscle build, probably had great hearts. And how would people know that about their health? How the hell would you know an athlete is healthy? Because back when I was an athlete, I wasn't always in tip-top shape. So that's crazy to look at an athlete from afar and think like, oh, well, I want that person's body because they must be strong. But look, y'all, I'm just giving my commentary and reaction to this very real issue globally. Number two, I'm going to try to use as much discretion as I can while giving my opinions and commentary on this very real raw topic. So I forgot how they say it, but I do promise you guys that to use discretion. I try to do that with every topic because people don't even know that. I'm not even going 100% yet, like where I'm really, really, really sharing what be on my mind about some of these stories and topics. Why? Because, I'm still trying to use discretion. I don't want to step on toes. Some of these stories you have to. Because the toes are not being stepped on, you're hearing more and more stories of these people coming up missing with no organs or bodies being found. Let me tell y'all another thing. There's a few stories too of people who, they look like regular mannequins in a store. Y'all know what a mannequin is? They use those to model the clothes in most retail stores that sell clothes. And I couldn't imagine looking at a mannequin and having to do a double take a second look because it actually looks human. Oh, it says I'm in and out. Thank you guys. Let me turn my volume up. Thank you. What I'm talking about is how this young man's body was found at a science museum exhibition. His remains, pretty much, and how a mother was able to recognize that it was her son. And it's not the first story. I don't know. It's just weird. Let me go back. I'm trying to tell people how, as sinister as it is, why the hell is it still common? Like, why are we hearing more and more stories about this? So, hold on. Let me pull up let me make sure my volume is turned up a little more. What I was trying to say, I don't care, bro. That is weird. People actually have stories. I forgot that one black man's name where that mannequin resembled this old-fashioned designer. He wasn't old in age-wise, but he was, the mannequin resembled him, but they was like, no, we tripping. That ain't that designer, because maybe they designed some mannequins to actually look like actual people, you see? But really, let's not be stupid here. When did they start designing mannequins to look like, we know they have human features, but they've never looked like human. You know what I mean? And these topics at You Will Make It TV won't be for everybody. This is exactly what we mean when we say you will make it. Like, maybe our inspiration is not for everybody, but there are mothers out here who have lost children to science. There's no better way for me to explain it. Somebody wanted to do a science experiment. Somebody wanted to know what would happen, blah, blah, blah. I just think it's very suspicious and mysterious that with all these stories where they found the body's missing organs, or they found the body that's been turned into a mannequin, or they found the body in some museum art display, you know what's similar, what's common about each and every one of these stories? These people went missing first. That's what's not sitting well with me. Yeah, they went missing first. And I think these mothers, even if it don't matter to anybody else, I'ma follow these women's stories, because it's one thing to just lose a child. You know what I'm saying? That's sad in itself. But it's crazy how when they try to do these cover-ups and stuff, of some people, family members, you can't do that to everybody, because what are we talking about? A mother's intuition. Some of these women didn't find out what happened to their kids in these cases until, what, 5, 10, 20 years down the line? With that one story with the young black man, he was also found in a science exhibition. Like, it's like a museum for people who want to go see things about science and health. I've never personally visited one, not as of late anyway, but I know they exist. You see, they're like anatomy museums and stuff like this. But now people are paying more attention because they said, well, we always wondered where they got the bodies and stuff, to practice with science. And they said that the scientists and instructors would always tell them that the bodies were donated, the organs were donated, the bones were donated. Is that really true though? If all these people, you got all these missing people cases, but you have all these donated bodies, like something's not adding up. If everything is being donated, as far as human body parts and stuff, why are so many people still coming up missing? It's stupid. But these are the kind of topics, guys, I want to stick to going into 2026 and in the future. Like, I don't even think Dr. Phil and Oprah talk about this kind of stuff. I really don't. Like, they more stick they stick to raw stories, but I don't think they talk about stuff this raw. Because this is just my opinion. We all got to dissect that first. Why would, anyways, with these two young men that was found in the museum as of late and were identified by their own mothers. Imagine going to the museum. You don't think you're going to see your kid's body there, right? Like, it's a feeling I know they can't explain. But look, let's talk about how they said they were able to recognize that it was their own children outside of intuition. With the young black man's story, uh, his daughter, so because some people die, they leave survivors. His daughter kept begging her grandmother to go to the museum, and the grandmother didn't want to go, but she finally took her granddaughter to the museum, because some are saying they feel like that baby was being used in a divine way to get the grandmother to go to the museum. Like, I think I took my kids to the museum a few times this year, right? But it was the type of museum that she was asking to go to. She told her grandmother every day after her dad died, I want to be a doctor when I grow up. So she's just the type of kid she might ask to go to museums, different places. The name will come to me, guys. But y'all can Google these stories. That's why my job is not to come here like a news reporter and get the stories right. My job is to leave my commentary and reaction on the stories, on the details I picked up off of. So, grandma takes granddaughter to the museum. Though they're both grieving, who would have been mom's son and daughter's dad. They're both grieving. So mom and granddaughter apparently go to the museum. They go to the museum. The granddaughter keeps saying, Grandma, come over here. Let's look at these bodies. let's look at the anatomy of dead bodies. And grandma's like, no, sweetie, you know, the way I lost your dad, I don't like looking at that kind of stuff. But she's like, no, she said something just told her, go over there and see what your granddaughter talking about. So they was standing over there looking at the science bodies and everything, and she said that she thought she was tripping at first because the skeletal remains and everything had screws in the ankle, and she remembered that her son had screws in his ankle, and she told herself, no, you just tripping. Then she noticed something else. She like, well, my son also he had a rod in his leg, you know, because he broke his leg at 12 years old. Things that only a mother would know. She goes on to start to notice more and more and more details that, you know, and after what, the fifth detail, she was like, no, hell no, I'm convinced that this is my son that they have in this glass case at this museum. And they say that his son had been missing for years. She had never got an update about, you know what I'm saying, what could have happened to him. You know what the update was? She saw his body and consistencies on his body that let her know it was her son in the middle of a museum. Can you guys imagine that? It's crazy, bro. Hold on one second, guys. Yeah, so I think as of late, the update is she's fighting to get her son's body out of that museum now that she has been able to confirm. As a matter of fact, they haven't been able to confirm yet. The museum is trying to stall letting her match DNA results and all of this because she's pretty much already convinced that that's her son in that museum. You feel me? But people were saying it's suspect that the museum didn't want to, you know, somebody asked you for a DNA test and you say all the bodies are donated. What's the problem? Because this is where the problem is. Her son had been missing. She didn't tell the museum that. They just couldn't find him. They had been looking for him for years. But yeah, they say the museum tried to be real slow about, you know, going ahead and letting her do that DNA test, a sampling on that body, which I think she's still gonna pretty much end up getting done, especially with the right lawyers and help. But it's just very sad that they go this far in the name of science. That's the thing about parents who have to suffer from quote unquote missing children and all of this. Like, sometimes they never do get a call back. Like, they never found them. So that just broke my heart to do research about that there had been several families who found what resembled to be missing family members in places like museums or trapped behind mannequin bodies and stuff like that. Nobody thinks that's weird. You know, because what a cruel punishment. I've heard other sinister stories like people trapping souls inside of dolls and crazy stuff like that, but to trap somebody's, you know what I'm saying, to do whatever they do scientifically, and then you got a person standing in some fashion designer store like a mannequin model, but it's really a human. That's strange, and I really do hope I get to live to see cases like that get solved. Actually, it makes you wonder. Yes, they call a lot of these stories I cover conspiracies because we were talking about Easy E just last week. You know, or Tupac and stuff like this. Like, people whose deaths still have so much conspiracy surrounding it to this day. But with Tupac and Easy E, it's not really the same. They didn't go missing. It was just how people said they died, people don't trust. So, how long has this been going on? And then this is even worse if you ask me, man. It's just crazy. Like, 9 times out of 10, these missing people that the mothers were feel like they can identify that that's their son in a museum display. That is crazy. I bet their kids didn't even do nothing wrong. Like, if a scientist, this is what's crazy. If you're scouted out, I don't know what word to use. If you're chosen by a scientist, because I do find blessings in scientists, I see how they can be a blessing. But that's something I personally been praying about. I'm not out here trying to look like I'm in competition with scientists or I have a problem with scientists and what they do. But it is a fact. It's already been uncovered that that's why little fun stories like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and stuff like this exist. Cause they be acting like scientists can't do no wrong. Like, some of y'all experiments be kind of over the top. How you gonna have a grown child go missing, and the next time they see their child, it's in a museum? That's why I feel like they probably taking their time about letting that woman get a DNA test. That's all she asking for. If it come back that it's not her son, what is there? He's just still gonna be missing to her. It would just give her peace to know that it ain't him. So she's convinced it was him, like I said, because of certain things only a mother would know was on and inside of her son's body. Only things a mother would know, right? We know if the body is not as preserved, you might not see things like scars and marks, but she was able to see like fractures and certain bones and stuff like that. She was like, no. She was able to identify him just like that. My son broke his leg at 12. Then she said, yep, he had an ankle injury because, see, he was an athlete. And I guess they think parents don't keep up with that. Even when I was a competitive athlete in school, yes, we had what you call, like, what was it called? Not physical therapy, but, sometimes we check in with the, like, athletic nurse. I forgot what they was called. But see, that's not a joke either. They make you get a physical and all of that just to compete in certain competitive sports. That's number one. On college level and high school, most sports are going to require, if it's any type of real team, a physical. You know what I'm saying? They have to make sure that your body weight, and that's where I think maybe sometimes these guys get targeted. Like, they saw how strong and healthy and all that stuff you are through those training physicals too. But yeah, even as young as elementary, middle school, y'all do know people have to take their children to get physicals to even compete. So it's just strange how many athletes come up uh, like that one boy, I forgot his name. He like a high school athlete? I know he was black. And they ended up finding that young man with his organs missing. So these don't just be athletes. Let me add that. All of the ones I'm reading about, they definitely had a future in athletics. You know what I'm saying? They weren't just like on teams. Like, it seemed like they had futures. Like, they had people interested in them. And come on, bro, if you find them with they organs missing, why wouldn't we think science? That somebody felt like they needed them for science. So as y'all know, in modern day time, it has discouraged people from labeling themselves organ donors on their identification. If you've ever registered for an ID in the United States, it's just something they ask you on the application. Would you like to become an organ donor? And it's so crazy how many innocent people circle yes, thinking, oh, and what does that mean? That means when you die, you know what I'm saying? Are you willing to, it's like, do you give the hospital permission to take your organs? Because they can put them up, preserve them, and save them for somebody who might need them. So why wouldn't people want to do that? and check yes and become organ donors. But it's so crazy how many people claim, though, they do claim that they don't even circle yes on a question no more. So just imagine that would mean you have less organs to provide people who need them, really, because people are not trying to donate. They don't circle yes on a question no more. I'm just trying to talk about why. The kind of stories we're constantly seeing, people probably didn't even circle yes that they want their organs donated, but they were still found without them. Then people wonder why people don't want to donate organs no more. I think we're gonna see more of this, even with people donating blood, donating plasma, them kind of places. I'm just giving my opinion, okay? They need to be looked into, just like these hospitals and places, cause you don't know what them people using. They claim, oh, it's a blood drive. You understand? You think you're doing a good Samaritan act going to go donate blood, right? Or going to go donate plasma. We don't think about that twice. Why? Because when you donate plasma, they pay you. But people don't think about the science of it all. You know what I mean? Or who could be affected. Now I know they do their part. You know what I'm saying? They're not just finna let you come donate blood and your blood's all infected. They have their own special processes. Uh, so they can know, but it make me wonder, like, what do they be doing with all that blood and plasma that people donate? Because I don't think it be getting, I don't know. I'm just, I have questions. Like, they'll tell you, oh, we're giving it to sick people. Hmm. They say they're giving it to sick people. They say the same thing about organs. It's so sad. I don't know. They said they're saving them for people. Yet, so many people are on these long, lengthy wait lists for organs. And I'm not understanding. Especially, I mean, in modern day, it's just time to bring some of these topics out. I understand, the significance of blood transfusions and stuff like this and how they save people's lives. But then the more and more science and the medical healthcare field starts to look like what? Untrustworthy? What position are you leaving people in? I hate when they say that they want to have so much control over healthcare and healthcare costs, but let's not forget how many people willingly donate, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like organs and blood and plasma every day. But all you can focus on is what you can tax people for healthcare? What about those that donated? First of all, if you ever donate, I'm just saying, if I was the president or something and we have you on record, like we can actually find evidence that you've donated blood or plasma, you would automatically make the list for an organ. Now, that's not promising that you would get it if you need it, but I would say those kind of people would be first priority if they needed blood transfusions and kidneys and stuff like this. Why? Because we have actual evidence that you was one of the good Samaritans. You see, they only call you a good Samaritan if you're paying your taxes. No, you're also a good Samaritan if you go donate free blood. I mean, this is just my opinion though. You go donate whole free plasma. It's records of you doing it. But still, do you think that makes them a priority if they get sick and need an organ? No, they're going to be on the wait list and got to pay the same amount if they need a heart transplant, kidney transplant. They don't put you on some kind of special uh, uh, priority. Like, yeah, we're going to go ahead and give you this free heart because we see in 2013 you used to donate blood. I just say it's only right. I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of putting my thoughts out there, y'all, but it just seems to make sense. And it's a little fair. So people can go out here and you can use them up to give you, I wouldn't say the plasma free because like I said, they do pay people for plasma. And I don't know what it is about plasma and science. I know it has something to do with the blood though. But plasma definitely has some type of connection to the soul. And I know what I'm saying sounds crazy, but just check out the movie Scooby-Doo. Y'all will see what I'm talking about. They were You know what I'm saying? They were trying to catch the criminal who was, he was going around stealing the plasma souls and stuff of the young college kids. You guys should go back and watch the first Scooby Doo movie they put out. That it wasn't a cartoon; it was like an actual movie. You guys should go back and watch that movie. It's a great recommendation anyway for the holidays. More of a great recommendation probably for more Halloween time, because when you think Scooby Doo, of course, you think more scary topics and stuff like that, but scary stories. But that is scary. In that Scooby Doo movie, they all got secretly invited to, it was like they all won a free trip. And you got to watch that kind of stuff in real life too. Telemarketers will call you talking about you want a free vacation. And people run over there. I think that's what that other movie was called by, that's what it was about by M. Night Shyamalan. Uh, what was it called? Old? Where them people went to all they know is it was a free vacation. But every one of them that went on that vacation, they life was never the same. You see, people jump on the first thing that's free. It's actually a thing I'm learning more about and I'm teaching others about. That's just crazy. Now, they did say the best things in life are free, but I'm sorry, I found the inconsistency in that quote. Not everything free. Actually, sometimes free is a whole red flag. And that goes for women, men, children. Everything free is not, free. I mean, because what are you giving? Like, what are you losing on the other side of it? Which is usually in the fine print that people don't read. All they heard was free vacation, you know. Because that's another thing. People go out here traveling, and then same thing. That's how it starts. It's the same narrative every time. They be like, oh, such and such went missing. Okay, then years later, you find them and their organs are missing, or you're finding them being preserved in a museum. So, anyways, like, it's a little funny, dark joke, really quick. But now I take a double look at mannequins when I pass them, because even if I feel like I suspect something like that, like, no, they don't look like a mannequin. That looks like a person. I already asked myself, would you try to say something about it? I mean, what can you do about it? Well, yeah, you can go say something about it so maybe you can get looked into. At least the person could get laid to rest properly, because that's what that one mom plans to do that feels like she found her son in a museum. She's currently fighting to claim the body, number one, bring the body back home so she's able to properly put it to rest, and sue them. She wants to sue everybody involved in it, which we don't blame her. Everybody's attention, not saying it's bad, lately just been on mothers who may uh, have kids that were abducted or missing, or being ex-trafficked or kidnapped. But it's so sad. Like, that's the scary part to think about. You just never know what a person doing once your precious child is out of your sight, out of your care. All you can do is really pray and hope that they're okay, right? Because it's not them that you don't trust. It's the news stories on TV we don't trust. We trust them. I'm just saying, it shows us, those news stories show us we actually can't trust everybody. You know what I mean? And these two men stories that I'm talking about, they were grown. But they had mothers who were able to identify them in science museums. They were able to say, hey, she started it by asking them, where do y'all get these bodies for these displays in the science museum? And they answered her question happily. They said, oh, all the things that are in this museum, don't worry. It's all donated. That's what they told her. And she said she was just frozen for a second because she was taking it all in like, oh, okay, so everything in here is donated? But she didn't say it right then. Like, that's funny. That one body right there looked like my son, and we didn't donate. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. So y'all just, she said she had a sick feeling in her stomach, and that's what you call a mother's intuition too. Like, I don't know, maybe I'll do a panel in 2026, and we get more mothers on the live to talk about what, to put people in the mind of what a mother's intuition might be like, because I'm sure a lot of mothers have it, but I'm sure all of our intuition works a little different. But I just feel like a mother's intuition, that's crazy, bro. And people be out here, it's like they're trying to hide it too, or bury that the existence of a mother's intuition is real to begin with, which is just yet another attack to the human anatomy, the woman's human anatomy. Because, yes, we know the woman has breasts and other things that distinguish her and let us know that she's a woman, but that intuition gonna tell you a lot too. No matter how many sex changes you have, one thing that's gonna show a person what you really are is your intuition. Scientifically, they even said that women mature faster mentally, okay? Because, yes, I have seen 12-year-olds with beards and mustaches, okay? So we don't mean, I don't think science meant physically. Science meant women mature faster than men because that's what they found out through their scientific studies. Who the hell is trying to come around and change scientific findings unless they have the evidence to back up that those findings were suddenly wrong, okay? But they've been saying for generations that the woman matures faster. The female the female mind, the female's mentality. Why do you think you have so many predators out here? And one of the first things they tell their young victims is, "Oh, you're so mature." I mean, what? Of course. I mean, they're going to be mature for their age if it's a young lady, because guess what? Scientists have even already said that women mature faster than men do. But yet they still think this means, well, she's mature, she's ready. No, scientifically she's that. The woman can control her growth spurt, you know. But I meant like mentally, they say that women mature a little faster than men. Okay, that's why they say the men be hurt like once they see a certain glow on a woman after she moves forward. What else do they be saying? All these different myths, if you will, or folklores that surround the reputation of women. It's really crazy because they leaving that part out, that women are naturally more advanced than men. Another thing they found out was scientifically true was that the woman could handle a higher pain tolerance. And how do you think they found that out? No scientific finding was published without an experiment, ladies and gentlemen. I know I'm not teaching you guys nothing, but I'm saying here's some things to think about so we can put more pieces and clues and things here together for ourselves. Uh, they say that I don't know, but they also say a mother's intuition is real. Then if you think about it, they call it a woman's intuition, because you could be a woman and not be a mother. So that's something scientists have proved is real too. You know how even R. Kelly has a song about it. Something about the woman's intuition. And he was a very big, rich, black pop star singer that's known for love songs and stuff like this. But even a man like him knew in all his player ways, when a woman's fed up, there's nothing nobody can do about it. because it's something about the intuition to me, surrounding women, and how I just feel like they're trying to pretty much work very hard to disconnect women from the intuition. And then I think they're doing it to mothers as well. Because women's intuition and mother's intuition, oh, baby, that's been proven in science a long time ago that they're very real and they exist. That's why they make jokes about it. Oh, don't play with a woman's intuition. You know, they say a woman, 9 times out of 10, she knows if her man is cheating long before he, you know what I'm saying? He could be going years thinking he's still covering it up. I don't know why a woman would stay, but there's just things that naturally come, I guess, with a woman called intuition. Because if her purpose was to be the helpmate of the man, maybe she is equipped in ways like that, mentally, spiritually, and physically, to pick up on things that man wouldn't even notice. Now, men, they're supposed to be the protectors, the providers. We know that the woman is the weaker vessel as far as speaking physically, but she's not necessarily weak, bro. Scientists have already proved that women, they go for women humans, women animals, it doesn't matter. They have a higher pain tolerance. Does that mean they love pain? Absolutely not. Who loves pain? But to have a higher tolerance means you can push out a whole baby. You can push out twins. You can push out triplets. You see? And yes, we endure the pain. Women push out babies every day, and then once the baby out, they carry on like nothing happened. You understand? Scientists already proved that women have a higher, they just have and I don't know the exact measurement. I wish I could look it up real quick. But they actually measured it. Like, women actually have a very, very, very high tolerance for pain. Now, with all these things scientists figured out, it makes you wonder why they even did the experiments and learned about it. Because if you know that women have a woman's intuition or a mother's intuition, why would you play with it? So it seems like one big, huge experiment almost in modern day society, just to see how far people can skate past women's intuition or mother's intuitions. Once again, when you have a lot of babies, youth, people coming up missing, there's no way a person come up missing and you didn't play with somebody's intuition. Usually you're watching them before, like, who just randomly like, oh, I'm a steal this person. No, usually something like that was conjured up and planned long before they do it. That's what I'm saying. Somebody got to have intuition or be willing to tap into that place if scientists have already proven it exists, so people can more sense and feel, you know what I'm saying? Because once again, if you're not a woman, if you're not a mother, you may have an intuition, but it may not be as high as theirs is on a natural level. But once again, positive healing thoughts and prayers to the families and surviving loved ones of those who have lost children, uh, and I'm saying, and they lost children to what? The name of science? Because somebody wanted to experiment on your child blood. Somebody wanted to experiment and see what kind of cells your child got. Somebody like your child's organs and eyeballs. I mean, this is the type of day we live in. Where people are competing for literal things on other people's bodies. And if they can't take it from you, they're going to go have surgeries to get it. You understand? It's very serious. Like, people are almost forgetting we're all born with the same thing. The same things with an S. Nobody knows how to just settle and, I don't know, be happy with who they are anymore. But I might be back with a part 2 with this topic, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in for now. We'll be back with a few more topics a little later on today. So make sure you hit that subscribe bell and tune in. But feel free in the comment section or the chat, leave your opinions. We want to know. Do you think the world of science and healthcare is taking us by storm in a way where people just don't trust it anymore. Because, I mean, and then that's weird to steal. Why would you just want to steal anybody organs? You don't know what they were infected with, what they had. So that's what make you think about it deeper. No, I feel like they be watching people close, like on a level of their health. They already be knowing because you wouldn't want to take an infected person's heart, would you? Somebody with infected lungs, tainted blood. How would you know that? And you just run around stealing organs, like you don't want to play with science like that, bro. It means you're doing implants, not knowing what I don't know. I just feel like if the implants and stuff are not for health, dire health, life saving reasons, they shouldn't be taking things from other people's bodies just to do what they want in the name of science. But I just wanted to get my opinions. Thank you guys for tuning in, and until next time.